hardiest prime.
Last time the brain destroyed an entire city.
Warp signatures are arriving.
Shields up!
Those will be your last words.
This clue, we have to keep it safe.
Let us out of here.
You have no chance.
Neither of you understand what you're up against.
I have an idea.
Hi, welcome to Nerdiest Prime, where we're reviewing every episode of Star Trek Discovery Season 5. We're on Episode 7, which is Erigah. I can't remember the name of the episode. But let's start with our first impressions. Let's start with Jenny.
Oh, my first impressions. I am generally, fine with it. I'm finding the season to be fine. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is, it's just little things that are, that I felt like, you know what? Actually, this episode, at the beginning of it, I was like, oh, this is cool. They're going to, figure some stuff out as a team. I felt like everybody was kind of coming together there for a minute. And then they really didn't. Not any more than they have been. And I was like, okay. Well, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rayner's great.
Go.
I like Rayner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Namir, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Jenny on this. You know, it's like going to an office Christmas party at a job you just started. You know, you're just like,
anyone?
You don't know anyone. You're like, this is fine. There's booze here. It's not that fun, but I guess it's a party, so it's okay.
Yeah.
That's really what it feels like for me. And they try, they try, and I see them trying, but all the problems you give them some credit for that, but all the problems that they've always had, they still have. And I just don't know why they can't figure it out. And it's kind of getting kind of annoying. I actually didn't mind this episode so much, but it's relative, right? I didn't mind it so much compared to the other episodes of Discovery, which is how you have to judge everything with this show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Alan.
I was generally fine with it. I got excited because I thought there was going to be some more action finally, and there wasn't. I was like, I know it's Star Trek and they need to talk out their problems and find solutions with, common ground and relate to an enemy that seems, unrelatable. Yeah, but I really wanted to see some a battle or something. This show has 0 space battles. And I mean, the 12-year-old boy in me just wants to see some pew pew, and it never sees that. But good for them for talking it out and figuring it out with any bloodshed. But at the same time, the problem is that I like when Star Trek talks things out. There's lots of great episodes in the past where they've had to talk things out. The drumhead pops into mind, in the pale moonlight, things like that. But the characters are so uncompelling. They make all these talking scenes just so dreadfully dull. And it's like they just can't pull off that dynamic that just makes you not mind that it's just talking heads. I could watch talking heads on Firefly, forever. This show is just ugh.
Yeah.
And they really in the promos too pumped up Tig being back, but she was in it for about 5 minutes, if that. And I'm like,
and that just kind of ended too. I didn't feel like that.
Yeah, it's like she says,
part of it even went anywhere.
Yeah, go look for a library, and then she was done. I'm
yeah.
That was her big contribution. But yeah, so it's like you say, it's just more of the same kind of frustrating things. I was like, all the ingredients are there. It's just not. It's not making cake. So.
That's a really good point, and I want to come back to that in a minute, Alan. And I just saw this episode yesterday, and up until Alan was talking just now, I couldn't actually remember what the episode was about.
Yeah, that happened to
but
me.
now and now.
I watched it this morning, and I'm still like I just looked at my notes, and I'm like, oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and you know, getting this far into Discovery, aka a show that I don't enjoy, is a very rare experience in my life. Because usually, if I don't like a show, I'll watch one episode, I won't like it, and I'll stop watching it. So because I'm forced to watch the show, it's actually making me think about like what is it about the show that doesn't work? Like what makes a shitty show shitty? I had never thought of it before this much. I never had a chance to analyze it. And because it's the problem with the show is not so much that it's bad, but it's like it's mediocre. It's mediocre in its
Yes.
badness. At least if it was like really bad, you could almost like it'd be so bad you come out the other side of it. But this is just mediocrely down the middle. And what it proved to me, it kind of brings up this very interesting, almost like uh, in-depth analysis, philosophical, like what makes TV work? What makes motion pictures work? Because you think, oh, you just film stuff, and then it's life. But actually, there's an alchemy that happens. There's something that happens with good angles and good writing and good characters that it comes to life. And this show does not come to life. I don't.
What makes
it's not so
Star
much that
Trek
it's bad.
good?
Yeah, sorry.
What makes Star Trek good?
Well, just not just you're right, not just TV, but what makes Star Trek good. And I go and I'm watching the show, and it's like it's not so much that it's bad, but it's like I don't care. I don't care about anything that's happening because they don't set up these characters in such a way that I care what happens to them. I don't care what happens to them on Lock. I don't care if the Federation gets blown up. I don't care if the Breen win or the Breen lose. It's like it doesn't matter. It's just a bunch of stuff happening, and okay, And at least last week they had managed to do a little something with the until he's up in the tower and is she gonna die? This kind of thing. But I don't like Tilly, so I didn't really care if she died. But at least there was something. I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts about
my
that.
thought is like even like you say, even bad Star Trek traditionally, I still find something to enjoy, and it's 100%. It's the characters and the actors who bring them to life. Like I love Voyager's Threshold. I love Deep Space Nine's Move Along Home. People generally hate these episodes. There's tons like that. I still have a really good time because I love these characters, and the actors are doing their thing with them. They can pull it off. And it's like, I even watched oh geez, lost my thing. Like I was watching an Enterprise there, one of the Zindi ones where the doctor's just by himself and all the crew's asleep. And I remember back in the day I was like, this is okay. I'm like, it was kind of mediocre, but I watched it today and I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, and it's because John Billingsley or whatever his name is there, he can pull it off. Like he can pull off a one-man show basically. He just
Totally.
And I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. I'm like, I'm enjoying what I considered mediocre back in the day more so than I'm enjoying what they're putting out now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm realizing I'm like, hey, this wasn't so bad. This is actually what I want to see.
Yeah.
So, and I think this just show. It's not even that. Like the other shows have good cast, good writing, but this show, it just seems like the cast never quite gelled, and they don't know how to service these characters. And it's I can't quite put my finger on it. Like Lucas has spent like 7 episodes. I've spent like 5 years trying to figure this out. Like, what is off about this show?
It's funny too because the cast, like they love each other in real life. Like they are like they're very attached to each other. They're very invested in the show. They're very like that to me makes me feel like
there's passion there, but it was
the
it's
concept
not
and the writing are
I
feel like it's the concept and the writing that's where we're running into a wall, because it's just like they're all there and they're stoked to be there and they're, I don't know, like it's
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe they need to dislike each other. Maybe they need to hate each other on set and just not want to be in the same space with each other unless they're, in a scene.
It worked on the original Star Trek.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But it was the opposite of
exactly.
that on TNG, right?
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
But I wonder if that's more like a trauma response. They're on this horrible show, and then they're just like, we love each other so much.
Yeah.
The paycheck is so good.
I mean, honestly, there might be something there, because I mean, I know they all, actually, I saw a little clip of an interview today with the cast of How I Met Your Mother talking about the finale, like it was like the night it aired, basically, and they were all like, they were like, so you're like, was it exciting, or are you like sad? And they're all just kind of like, yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Like, and you could see them like trying to pretend that they loved it.
Yeah. Paid to be shills, so kind of like Will Wheaton on the Ready Room.
Yeah,
he's got to act really excited
right.
About it.
So and again, and no shade to any of those actors, or like, because number one, they're all like tremendous people, but they're all like, they're just doing their jobs. But it's like they're trying to sell something that's not sellable.
Sorry, what's How I Met Your Mother? What is that?
It's a Friends type sitcom.
It's a very popular,
it's a really,
sitcom,
really well-known sitcom.
Yeah, long running.
Long running.
Like a decade it was on.
Yeah, like I guess the finale. I've never even seen the finale, but the finale was very polarizing. Like the way they went with it was not like I think the happiest. It was like a weird. So anyway, but it just kind of, it made me think of like, and they all really liked each other, and they were like, yeah, our show, but I don't know.
So you're saying that the Discovery cast is similar? It's a similar situation.
Maybe like they're sort of just like, they like each other and everybody likes them, but nobody likes the show.
Yeah,
but they're like, we love it.
Yeah, I feel like they just don't care, right? Like it must be, right? They're just like, it's a paycheck. I got a house here now. My kids are going to school. I got friends on the set. This seems pretty good. Yeah, what do you want me to do? I'll just do it. Whatever. You want us to talk around a table again? Okay, let's do it. In fact, let's do it 10 times in this episode. Let's just talk around the table for a while. It just doesn't matter to them, right? Like, and it comes across. Which is too bad, and I think that's part of the problem, is that nothing seems authentic, right? Like none of the characters seem real. And I would say like the only two characters for me that seem like they have anything, like any type of soul, is Maul and Locke, for whatever reason, right? Because that relationship is at least somewhat relatable, and they play it fairly well, right? But everybody else is just kind of like empty inside. I don't know how else to explain it.
I don't know if I agree with you. I'm happy that you're happy, Namir, but I find those two characters so boring and so mediocre and down the middle. Because everything's just being played by the number. It's like paid by numbers.
Yeah, I'm not
angry stares, and it's just all the things.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree. Like, this is like literally that actor played that exact character in another show. Maul played that exact character in a different show. She was just like a spy in that show. I can't remember what it was called. It's like it's called The Night Agent. Anyway, she was the exact same character. So, and they had like she was an assassin, and she had a boyfriend who was an assassin. They were like star-crossed lovers, all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's like you've seen it before, but at least in the context of Discovery, it was something different, right? Like it wasn't like they're not like sitting around, talking about their feelings, straight up. There's at least some nuance. You want to learn a little bit about their story. So, in a good show, they would be the worst part, but in this show, for me, they're the best part.
Well, I have a big complaint about this episode, and I actually want to make sure we actually try to find something positive to say about this episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple of things.
But before we get to the positive, one thing that I absolutely was so stupid, made no sense to me in this show, was they're basically like I don't know, like Most Wanted, the galaxy's Most Wanted, and then they bring him into the sick bay and they just let her like hang out with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, oh, we can't separate them because she just got so pissed off. I'm like, just stun her and then put her under and then put her in the brig.
She's not Amidala. She's not going to die out of heartbreak. You know?
Yeah, it's like you just put her in a thing. He's like, no, just leave her in the thing. Like, and she's just interfering, and it just doesn't it makes zero sense for them to do that. Nobody would ever do that. Why would you do that?
There wouldn't be a really clumsy fight scene between her and Non if she was unconscious, because that fight was terrible. I'm like, oh my god.
I do have to say, I think I know why they did it that way, because this way they wouldn't have to build a brig set.
True, that's a good point.
Right? Yeah, yep. They just have them in the
AR wall anyway. They just paint some bars or whatever.
Yeah. I really think that's it. Like, I think they're like, okay, guys, we have 4 sets. Let's just do what you can with 4 sets. And they're like, okay, I guess we're standing around and talking a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and we need her to be part of the conversation, so we can't put her in the brig.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So maybe
she really took out Culber there, too. That was rough.
Yeah, I thought he was dead. Like, I feel like that was enough to, like do some major damage. Like, she shoots him, and you see, like, a burn mark on his chest, and you're like,
on his cool white parka? Yeah.
And you're like, oh, he's in trouble. And then the next scene, he's up and around. He's like, we got to save this guy. You're like, you were just, like, totally injured. You know, what happened? He's
died and come back to life.
Exactly.
Exactly. He can't die anymore. It's already happened.
You know, I've actually been enjoying him and Book. I've actually liked their interactions, and I actually in the last episode I was thinking I feel like they have better chemistry right now than the husbands do. You know, like Culber and Stamets. I feel like they're just like
Book with Captain Freeman.
Captain Freeman.
I'm fine. I'm getting tired of Book, even though Book is supposed to be our like resident rogue, you know, handsome hero.
He's not roguey enough.
He's so boring. Like, he has no point in the story at all. Like, it's like he just kind of pops in and just is like, "Hey, is there anything I can do?" And I'm like, "No, buddy, there's not." And just go back and read a book or pet your cat or something. I don't know, because he just keeps popping up asking if there's stuff he can do, and it's like literally there's nothing for you to do.
Yeah, he didn't even really do anything at the end with Maul, right? Like, he left Stamets and then he just kind of disappeared, right? Like, he basically I don't even remember.
He's basically there when you need somebody to shoot something.
Like he got her to stop shooting.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, I mean, imagine writing this and just writing in. Well, Book shows up and just wants to know if he can help. Like,
and then they got this clumsy like, oh, it's like this Maul girl is like his mentor's daughter. He doesn't even, she doesn't even know him. There's not really any relationship there to build on, because like, I don't know who you are. You're just some guy who says, "Hey, I know your dad."
Yeah.
How does that make them family? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, my dad was the previous Dread Pirate Roberts.
Like, oh, I know your dad. I'm here to help you. And I'm like, who are you? Go away.
So what you're saying is this episode has problems.
Yeah, it's a few. That was like, at least like get to like a big face off, fire a warning shot across the bat, something exciting, and just nothing happened. They were just constantly bluffing each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not the Cobra Knight maneuver. You're not being clever. You're just outright lying. I'm like, it reminded me of those the scenario, the trope in movies where it's like, and I know they've done this in Star Trek too. It's like, hey, your boss said to let us out of here. I'm like, no, he didn't. And they're like, well, I'll get a call him and find out if you're supposed to be here. And I'm like, oh, well, if you want to wake him up at 3 a.m., you're going to be in trouble. It's like, oh, you're right. Here, just go into our top secret lab. And this is happening. And so I felt like they're just telling this Breen, I'm like, oh, this other Breen is gonna take over, and you're not gonna be the one who wins. And I'm like,
and he's like, I'll just call her. They're like, no, don't call.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's like, but I have her on speed dial right here.
Yeah.
I can just give her a call.
Rainer just happens to know a few fun facts about her and proves that they must have talked to her at some point.
Yeah. Even as you guys have been talking about just how boring everyone is, I realized that the reason, because I don't enjoy Tarina, and I don't want to like be a jerk about it, but I'm just like, and I know Vulcans are very Vulcan, but she's a boring Vulcan. Like look at oh gosh, what's her name? Spock's fiance. Like T'Pring and her parents are 3 Vulcans with personalities and like stuff to say, and then over here we've got Tarina, who just talks like this no matter what's going on, and also has some very boring other dialogue, and suddenly she's the president because the president went away for a minute, and also Saru is away, and he conveniently sent in a dispatch. How long has he been gone? Hasn't this season taken place over like a week? And she's like, oh, he's on a diplomatic mission. What?
I was like, can we go to Saru's ship and see what's going on? Because that's
it's just anyway, yeah. But she's just, just say something. She got mad at Saru at one point, or not mad at him, but where he was like, maybe we should call up the engagement, and then she was like, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh my god, Tarina actually doing something. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I agree. But the one thing, the thing that bugs me most about her character is that her name is Tarina.
Yes.
And
yes.
And I'm like, is it Trina or is it Tarina? Choose one.
Trina. And it's just not a Vulcan name.
There's an apostrophe there. You have to have a pause.
Tarina. It's like John.
Yeah.
Okay. So
sorry.
So let's each find one good thing to say about this episode, and then maybe we could just wrap it up after that. Who knows?
I thought the Breen Dreadnought was cool.
Oh, Alan, you want to go first? You go first, Alan.
I said the Breen Dreadnought was cool.
Nice.
Is that it? Anything else?
And when they come up to Federation headquarters in the little Starfleet ships, I'm like, oh.
Although I'm very confused about the scale of Federation headquarters.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
too.
it seems like it's just like a Christmas bulb in space or something.
It looks very small.
Yeah. I was not questioning it because I didn't know what happened during the burn, but I thought they just built up Starfleet, so it's back to regular.
No, that was always their headquarters, even during the burn. They were just hidden in a nebula or something.
So the headquarters is hidden somewhere.
Headquarters
they're still
can move
hiding
around because it did travel to Earth last year.
Right. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
So
I see.
It's like
so they don't travel with like a fleet that protects headquarters.
Who knows?
No, it's just whatever ships are just in the vicinity, I guess.
They're just around.
Yeah.
Let's not
get thank God 4 ships showed up.
Let's stay positive. Okay, Jen.
Okay. All right.
And Tig was in it.
Yes, Tig was in it, exactly. Which was great until she wasn't. So Locke died.
Yes.
You're totally going to bring him back.
Well, yeah, and then
it was too easy a death.
No, but they're talking about the progenitor's device, and then they're literally saying it's the.
Yeah, they're just really, really.
It can have the power to resurrect. They use the word resurrect in more than one episode. So that's nice that they're going to bring him back, and it's nice to know that's where we're going with this. Nice.
Is that the positive thing?
No.
I feel like Jenny's going to short circuit try to come up with something
that
positive.
One in. You know what? I mean, I didn't love the Rainer telling random tidbits about the other Primarch, but I did, again, very much enjoy every time he was on screen. except for some of the things that they had him saying. But other than that, like the actor himself, I really enjoy him. He's great.
Okay, let me one positive thing.
Mm.
It'll soon be over.
Culber's jacket was cool. I like that. I actually did like that coat.
Yeah, I guess I liked that Tig Notaro was in it. For whatever reason, I just when the episode that ended, I was kind of like, yeah, that was okay. So I was a little bit more positive, but then when we started talking about it, I was like, no, wait, that was not okay. None of this was okay. Like this episode was not a good episode. Okay. I liked the Breen uncle. I thought whoever played that actor was was pretty good. He seemed menacing enough, and he's got like a what's his title? Triarch, Patriarch, Primarch.
Yeah.
He's got a Primarch kind of feel to him, so I thought that was interesting. So I'll give that a positive. But don't they have a universal translator?
Oh my god.
Yes.
They do, right?
Yeah.
So why was another Breen translating for him?
That was weird, especially because when they first showed up, the woman was like translating, and they showed like the machine doing the translating, and then that was confusing.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, maybe they lost the power to universally translate, and then so that was that. I was just like, okay, maybe I missed something during the previous.
Well, sometimes in Star Trek, the universal translator doesn't work well.
Yeah,
and that's part of that's sort of like a gimmick, and not a gimmick, but like a thing they do, a story device.
Yeah, but sometimes, usually they would explain that, right? Usually they would say that.
And sometimes the language thing that'll happen is they'll start speaking Klingon, but then they'll switch to English just to we're in it. We know they're speaking Klingon, but they've switched to English just to and that's fine, but
that's not what happened here.
No, it's not. It's not. So it wasn't like one of those things where they're just getting us into it. It was strange. It was strange.
Because he was like, I want you to take this seriously, so I will say this in your language, and then he starts speaking in English. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To comply.
To comply, yeah. I just thought that was really weird. Yeah.
Every alien species always gives like nice round numbers, like 10 minutes, 1 minute, an hour.
Yeah,
2 hours.
and then you could be like,
why would they say 48 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, and also why would they know how long an Earth hour is?
They researched it on the way there.
Yeah, exactly.
How long is their hour?
They Wikipedia'd it. If I was Starfleet and someone was like, "You have 1 Earth hour," I'd be like, "Oh, so I have 37 days? Perfect."
It's like, wait, let us look this up.
Yeah. Galactic Wiki.
Tactic.
Okay, I have 2 positives.
Ooh.
One.
No, you don't.
I think the cinematography of the show is amazing, and I love the art direction. I thought the set decor is fantastic.
That's lovely.
And also the visual effects are good. I'll give them 3.
Well, the show has always looked good. There's no, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
I'm just positive things. Yeah. Don't they get my positive thing now?
But that's just a generality over the last 5 years. The show's always looked good.
It looks fine, but I think it's still a poorly made show in every other aspect.
Yes, I agree, but we're trying to concentrate on positive things.
I know. I just don't want to. Why are we lying to ourselves?
I did like that Non was back. I know you guys probably, or Lucas wouldn't know who she is, but
I know she is. She's the security officer from season 2.
Oh, yes. Well, there you go. I guess you do know.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? I there was one part that I enjoyed much more than what I had said. So can I go back and redo my positive thing? I just remembered. So Maul and Non are fighting in the hallway. She's in engineering. So they get there and they start shooting. And then there's this little off-screen voice of some random engineer. You don't even know who he is. And he's like, "She has the map to the shuttle bay."
And we never see the person.
You never see the person, and you're like, "What map? Like a physical map? Is it like a secret treasure map that they hid in a bottle and she found it?" And she's like, "I got the map." It's just so. It's just like this little thing that they threw in for no reason. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody want to say anything else about this episode before we get to our final thoughts?
Okay. Can I just say two things that are little things but really annoyed me? Well, three things. Can we do the "this is what annoyed us" part of this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So three things. One, in the beginning, Vance and Burnham are talking, right? Vance pops over, he does that, and he appears, and they're talking, and they talk about how far the Breen are, and there's a shot of Vance looking over at this holographic map on the table. Do you remember that? And there's like little arrows pointing from the Breen to their ship. First of all, I'm like, that's really stupid.
But obviously they're coming that way.
Yeah, obviously it's like, and how do you know which way they're coming? It's three-dimensional space, right? Like it could be from anywhere. Anyway, so they've got this little arrow and they show him looking at it and they're like, okay, natural end to the scene. And then it cuts to another shot of the same table where it's over and it kind of zooms in and it's the exact same thing where it's, oh, there's the Breen. Here are the arrows to the Discovery in case you didn't get it, in case you didn't understand. They are coming. And I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, so
it's funny when they beat you over the head with some stuff and then other stuff happens and you don't know what the hell just happened. What am I missing?
I don't know.
There's a lot of that,
yeah. So number two is, so Tig Notaro, Reno is talking to Tilly and Adira.
Yeah.
Is it Adira? Anyway, so they're talking and they're going down the hall and the Breen are coming, and then she's in the middle of the sentence, and in the middle of the sentence she stops talking, right? And she stops talking and there's like half a second and then the announcement of the Breen comes on. Like she's like the actor didn't know, they didn't line up when the announcement was going to happen and when she was supposed to stop talking. She just stopped talking in the middle of the sentence and then the announcement happened.
Oh God.
And I'm like, that's a pretty easy fix. You can just kind of like squeeze that closed a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the third thing that really bothered me, was the Breen are here, and you see the shot of the shadow going over the ship, and the hallway gets darkened. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I guess there's skylights. They must be on the top of the ship or something. It's fine. But nobody is doing anything. Everyone in the hall is just still walking. They're like, do, 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 do. I guess I'm going to go to have my little pop and meet some friends. Maybe I'll go have a nap. Like, there's no consequences. There's no indication that there's trouble. Like, there's no yellow alert or anything. Yeah, nobody's running down the halls. Nobody's getting to their stations.
Yeah.
Nobody's, like, turning something invisible on the wall. Like, none of that is happening. They're all just like, I guess every day, run of the mill, So... Anyway,
I love the original series reference there with That's so great. I love that guy.
That's the best part of the show. Anyway, so I just three things, and it bothers me because I'm like, these are easily fixable things, right? Like they're not difficult to deal with, but they just don't do it. I'm like, why?
Well, my problem again with the clues, I know Lucas loves them being called clues, is that they got this Betazoid library card or whatever it is.
Library card.
And I'm like, and they just randomly find out after all this like farting around with it and not being able to figure it out that Reno's this like jack of all trades and had this book business. I'm like, what?
Right?
And then she tells him, oh yeah, there's a secret library in the universe that has all these rare texts that will tell.
Why would it be a secret?
I was like, and why did she say something sooner? Like, oh, maybe we should go check out this library with so many ancient texts that are rare and have all these answers that we're looking for. It's like, you wouldn't think to say this like back when this crisis started or whatever, this quest.
I don't know.
It's like, oh, there is a secret library that has everything anybody ever wanted to know. We should go there. It's like, why are we going to the whistle? Why are we going to the whistle planet?
Yeah, and then they're like, but it's impossible to find. You can't find it. They're like, oh wait, there it is.
Oh yeah, there's a pattern. Oh, it's probably there.
There's a very easily followable path here. It's right there.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Oh, but then there was a Voyager reference where they're like, it's in the Badlands.
Oh yes, yeah, there was, yeah. That was cool. I actually thought when because I think Book figured it out, didn't he? Is that actually him being useful for once? Yeah. He used his brain thing. And when he started seeing plasma storms in space, I'm like, oh, is this a modern take on the Badlands? Because I was in this cheesy CGI funnels. And I'm like, but this one looked
forgot
really
about
cool.
those.
And then it's like, they mentioned the Badlands. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool, but I'm sure it'll not be cool. But
I feel like Alan,
it was a nice little reference with the potential to be cool.
You get way too excited about these things. You're just setting yourself for disappointment and sadness and depression.
Yeah. You just have to lower your expectations. I like a lot.
Like,
because if you think about
I'm
the
still
way
having
that
more
they
fun than I had with
in,
Picard
like,
season 2,
classic aliens and classic that they're just like, oh, the Badlands offhand. They're gonna like go to the Badlands before the next episode starts. And then just be like, wow, the Badlands were crazy.
We'll just skip over that excitement. No viewer wants to see that excitement. We'll just go back to talking.
They're like, turns out it wasn't so bad. They had a pool. It was great. Mai Tais. Sun was out.
Let's do our final thoughts and our rating.
I feel like you just want this to end. You're just like, I don't want to talk
He
about
just wants to
this
talk
anymore.
about TNT.
No, good.
Okay.
Good.
Final thoughts. Jenny, do you want to start with our final thoughts of this episode and a rating?
Yeah. First of all, I wasn't here for the Whistle Speak review, but did you guys talk about the fact that there was no whistling after like 10 minutes of the episode?
Pretty much.
I said that.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That. Yeah.
That's been
bothering
what the
me.
hell was the whistling?
I think it would have got really old listening to whistling for any length of time, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it would
No,
have.
it's
It's just
take
like
5 minutes of it and then no more.
They use it to communicate.
I mean, they
No,
do.
they
no
use it
point.
to communicate
It's
across far distances.
Yeah,
It's
but why is it the
basic
name of the
101
episode?
screenwriting. Yeah, it's like
It
Yeah, I
sounds
don't know.
whimsical.
Yeah, whistle speak.
That's whimsical.
Yeah, like
no idea.
beat on a log. Like it's like yes, that is also a way you can do that, and people
Right,
have
or
done
use
that,
a
but,
radio.
Like, just usually the title of an episode denotes something of importance in the episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that's the other episode.
No, it's a good point.
This week, Erigah, Locke died. It was fine. Like, I got to the end of it. You know how many times I wandered away from this episode? A lot. The old phone kept finding itself its way into my hand. Yeah, yeah, that's it. I mean, there's what? Are there 3 episodes left or 4?
3.
There are 4 episodes left?
3.
3, okay.
3.
There's
Is
still
that
there's still a Jonathan Frakes episode coming up.
I think he did the finale.
He's directing.
Yes, directing. I don't know if it was the finale. Anyway, regardless.
What I want the last episode of the show is Riker's in the holodeck and
this is the worst hollow novel I've ever worked through.
It doesn't make any sense. They all just stand around tables talking all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, what was Tom Paris thinking writing this thing?
So in terms of the score,
Doctor.
I think I've actually like I don't even know where my I'm giving it a 5. It's getting a 5. And then we'll go from there. I don't know. I'm just you know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amir, what are your final thoughts on your rating?
Yeah, I mean, it's not getting better, right? This to me was the peak of what Discovery can offer. You know, this was like on the same level as the last episode, and I don't see it getting better than this. So I'm gonna probably give it I think I'll also give it a 5. but it's a Discovery 5, right? Which is like in every other Star Trek 2, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'll give it a 5 because they're trying their thing. It's, you know, they're doing what they do well, but what they do sucks. So I don't know if they should continue.
They're sucking well.
Yeah, they really are. It's like it's like a kindergartner drawing your family, and you're like, oh, it's pretty good for somebody in kindergarten, right? But it's not good for somebody in art school.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
what I would say.
Yeah.
Well said. Alan.
Yeah, I just expected a lot more excitement in this one. I keep getting burned with overhyped expectations, like, oh, this is gonna be the one that everything comes together and no, and it's like I really thought when they said that this was going to be more of an action adventure season that we were going to see some action adventure, and it's like, and they got the smallest episode count they've ever had, so it's like, well, they can't possibly drag this out. They got to get to the point. But they're still doing it. They're still just dragging it out, and I'm like, oh my god, just get to the goddamn fireworks factory already. It's like, it just drives me insane. This show is so terrible at being a serialized show, even though it's defined itself as being a serialized show.
Yeah,
and it's just so frustrating. And I'm like, and they keep sidelining their good characters and focusing on the irritating ones, and it's a frustrating thing, and I keep waiting for it to do some sort of, Hail Mary. We'll see. Again, it was fine. It moved the story a little bit, I guess. So, I'm also probably in the 5 out of 10 thing. It's like, it's there. I got through it, but I wasn't, I was kind of disappointed that not more happened. This
show is so bad that it actually made me rethink watching Picard season 1 again. I was like, maybe I should give it another shot.
I didn't hate Picard season 1.
There's some good stuff in there.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I was too harsh on it. Like compared to what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Picard season 1 is definitely better than Discovery season 5. That's for sure. But it's a sad conversation to have when this is what you're talking about.
I would give that
I would give this episode a 5 out of 10 because it was very mediocre down the middle. There was an episode that was supposed to be all about drama and tension. There was no drama and no tension, and I didn't care about what was happening. And you can tell that they're trying to manufacture the tension with the editing and the music and the tense close-ups, but at the end of the day, it's just the way the show is written. I don't care. I don't care about anything. I'm not interested. So I don't know why it's getting a 5, but it's a Discovery 5.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. It's like watching Discovery is like being depressed. You're just you want to do stuff, you want to like it.
That's a good way of putting it. Like I want to like it, like I really do, but it's hard. It makes it very hard to like it.
Well, it reminds me of a quote by Roger Ebert. He says, "Movies with sad endings aren't depressing. Bad movies are depressing."
Yeah.
And this is this show.
Well said.
Oh, God, this is all depressing.
Yeah.
This show's got to end. It's like I came into this conversation being like, oh, it wasn't so bad, and now I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can watch another one.
Just make it end.
Make it stop. Oh my God.
Just where is our future?